Hello, party people. It's Jeremy again. And do I have a treat for you tonight? We're going to be looking at the terrifying tale of Slenderman. But as we sit in these hot summer months, it makes me ponder, what would happen to one in the summer heat if they came across the terrifying Slenderman? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I proudly bring to you tonight the terrifying tale of Slenderman in Bangkok. Lovely assistant, bring up my video to accompany this terrifying tale. Yes. It is incredibly hot where I live during the summer. No one leaves the air-conditioned paradise that is their home unless they absolutely have to. Watching the news one night, the weatherman, speaking in his usual drone, informed us that a heat wave was coming, and it would be even hotter than it normally is this weekend. "Oh no," my husband says to me, clearly irritated. "Well, why don't we go to my grandpa's cabin Friday to avoid the heat wave?" I suggest. He definitely liked the idea. My grandfather gave us permission to go up there for the weekend, just asking that we do a few things to help him keep it cleaned up and do some fire hazard reduction for him. We happily agreed, looking forward to a weekend alone and out of the unbearable heat. Thursday evening, we pick up the keys from him and pack our truck to leave early in the morning. Friday morning, we're heading up there, and we stop in a small town at the base of the mountain to get some gas and snacks. We're standing outside the truck eating push pops, waiting for the gas to pump when my husband smiles at me wryly. Yes, married couples quite often eat push pops. This was obviously not written by a teenager, my lovelies. "Don't you dare," I say to him, wagging my finger, because I know full well what is going to come out of his mouth. He starts chuckling between licks of his push pop and whispers in my ear, "Slenderman. Ha 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 ha. Slendy is waiting for you up there." "You're hilarious," I sarcastically reply. If only it was sarcasm. We reach the cabin to get the lights and water going. We take our bags and our groceries up inside the cabin. It's a little chilly up here in the mountains, so I decide to grab some firewood from the back while he finishes unloading the truck. I stop abruptly at the side of the cabin as I notice some scratch marks, long and thin, going along the side, like someone had been dragging a rake almost while walking along. Could it be a rude gardener, my lovelies? Let's see. Those weren't here the last time I was out there, but it had been a very long time since I had been there, so I shook my head and continued on to the back to grab a few logs. The rest of the day goes by without incident. We go fishing, we ride ATVs, and we even make some delicious s'mores. We're sitting comfortably, cuddling on the sofa, flipping through the channels, or whatever the rabbit ears on TV will pick up here in the mountains, when suddenly we hear a scratching and knocking outside the cabin. My husband must have felt me tensed up, because he immediately says, "Honey, it's probably just rats." I look at him and say, "Are you freaking kidding me? Rats? No way." The sound suddenly stops, and it doesn't start again. So after an hour or so, we decide to go to bed. The next morning, I go outside to grab some more firewood. Curiosity gets the better of me, and so I decide to go and look at the side of the cabin where we heard the banging. And what I see immediately makes me wanna puke. Sure, the sound was rats. Rats being nailed to the wall. There are half-eaten rat carcasses all over the wall, surrounded by the same scratch marks that I had seen the day before. That was enough for me. I start yelling for my husband to show him. "Whoa, that's messed up," he says as I show him. "I want to leave, like right now. I don't want to stay another night." He makes another joke about Slenderman and tells me we'll be fine. If it makes you feel any safer, we'll shut all the windows and door coverings. The cabin, you see, had these big wooden doors and window coverings that lock to prevent anyone from breaking in while no one was there. I agree to this and say we'll stay just one more night. Just before dusk, we lock everything up and barricade the front door, mostly because I demanded it, so I could sleep more easily. Just as the night before, we're sitting down watching TV when I hear dragging, scratching, and knocking. I sit there petrified. My husband yells, "Stop it! Whoever you are, this isn't funny." Just as he says that, the knocking intensifies, and we hear a deep growling through the cracks in the wood. Puffs of breath say in a cackling, inhuman voice, "Come out to play with me." I run up the stairs faster than I ever have in my entire life. Heart thundering hard against my chest, barely able to breathe. I hide under the covers. But what the heck is that going to do? I don't know, but it gives me an inkling of comfort. I sit there cursing my husband for not leaving when we had the chance. Whatever is out there laughs in that horrible voice for hours, knocking and knocking all over the cabin. Claws scratching the outside walls, rattling the doors and windows, trying hard to force them open. Eventually, it stops, and we fall into an uneasy sleep. The morning, we pack up our belongings in a hurry and we get to the truck. The house, though, is now covered in half-torn animals. Raccoons, squirrels, foxes, and even a deer ripped in half, laying on the deck. We throw all of our belongings into the truck, and just before we leave, I remember my grandpa set up a motion camera outside the cabin to catch wildlife, birds, and cute little fuzzy animals as they walk by. I run up and grab the camera, bringing it with me. As we're driving, I flip through the photos, and I am just so happy to finally and safely be leaving. The pictures were nice enough. Some lovely deer. A few pretty blue jays, which is my grandfather's favorite. Just as I finally start to relax and breathe easy, I start to see the pictures of the animals being nailed to the cabin. The next picture has me shaking so hard I am about to drop the camera. Written in blood on the side of the cabin where I had originally seen the first scratches are the words, "Goodbye. Thank you for playing." The final picture is what finally makes me scream and pass out in terror. The first thing I notice is the yellow cat slit eyes, glaring deeply into the camera. The minuscule pinprick teeth, covered in fur and blood, of all manner from the animals ripped apart. It's hunched over, its spine in a grotesque arch, waving at the camera, almost playfully. Furry, stick-like legs, with cloven hooves in the end, rise up to the torso of a man who's emaciated and gangly, deathly thin. It's clearly laughing at us and the fun it's having. I drop the camera in the floorboard of the truck before I pass out, desperately trying to get the image of terror out of my mind. When I wake up, I look out the window, just in time to see the creature stepping out of the woods, laughing and waving at me. Yes. And that, my friends, is the tale of Slenderman in Bangkok. My children, be careful this summer. Stay cool. Get something to drink. Stay away from the cabin. Sleep well. And remember, party people, as I always say, be good or be good at it.